Hi there. So today's topic we'll be looking at is how do you teach rests and how do you teach students to draw and memorize them. I remember being young, I used to struggle to understand or remember the difference between a half note rest or a medium rest and a semi-brief rest or a whole note rest. So let's look at first the basics of the rest first, which means it's the crotchet, minim, and the semi-brief rest, or the quarter, half, and the whole note rests. So I'm going to take an example from my level 1 Stringstastic books for violin, viola, and cello, which are also available on the graded series and the mini series. And let's look at the first rest, the squiggle. Now the squiggle, I like to use props for this one. The squiggles, I'm going to use a pipe cleaner. Now this squiggle, and I'm going to change it into the shape of the crotchet rest or quarter note rest. This squiggle, what happens when I straighten it? What number does it look like? 1. That means it is 1 second. Now notice how I use the word second instead of count. Be very mindful that some students don't understand the word counts, and because of that, try and use simple language as possible, and then later on you can always throw in the word counts. So this is 1 second. A crotchet rest is considered as 1 second. Let's go back onto that screen on the other 2 rests. So we've got the half note rest and the whole note rest, or the minim rest and the semi-brief rests. How I explain these this way. They both look like hats. They both look like hats. The question I will be asking is this: which hat can you put more things in? An open hat or a closed hat? Open hat. You can put more things on an open hat, which means that it has a bigger number compared to the closed hat. And all you need to remember is 4 seconds. So let's look at that. 4 seconds for the open hat and 2 seconds for the closed hat. How are we going to draw this though? So let's try and remember this. Because an open hat is a bigger number, that means it's stronger. So because it's stronger, it hangs on the line, right? Because it's got more muscles or more energy. So that means it's a bigger number and it can hang. Number 2, the minim rest or the half note rests. Because it's a smaller number, it's just sitting lazily on the line, which is here. And that is how you draw the minim, semi-brief, and the crotchet rest itself. So let's look at the quarter note rest or the crotchet rests. How I'll be explaining is this: when you draw the rest for this, draw it as a lightning plus C. It's like a Harry Potter lightning. So a slanted or as lightning plus a capital C, and that is how you draw that. So those are the basics, the 1 count, 2 counts, and the 4 count rest. Let's look at the quaver note rest, shall we? So I'm going to take an example from my level 2 Stringstastic for violin, viola, and cello. So level 2 for Stringstastic, violin, viola, cello. Let's look at this. This is on the quaver rest. The way I like to explain this quaver rest is this. It is a child of a note that looks like, or a rest, a note that looks like E number 7. It's like as if a number 7 and a Y got married and gave birth to a quaver note rest. And that's how I would explain it. Because sometimes they write 7, sometimes they write a Y. No, it's not actually correct if it's a 7 or a Y. It's kind of like a mutation between a 7 and a Y, hence that. Okay, so let's look at how it is being drawn on the stave. So if you look on the stave, 1, 2, 3, the third space, right? Let's look at the other ones too. So if you look at the other ones, 1, 2, 3, they are all kind of drawn on the third space of the stave. And that is how you remember how to draw them. and how to distinguish the difference between the rest. I hope this is helpful. If you have another way of teaching rest, please do share. Otherwise, please like, subscribe, and share the video. Until next time, I'll see you on the next video.